Hello again, everyone. We're back with Deep Space Nine this week, and we're really finally starting to get into the good episodes here. We're starting to get into the really good stuff. And now that we're finally into season 2, mid-season 2, season 3 will be even better, and season 4 will be better. It's just gonna keep getting better from here. We're past all the rough parts. We're past the bad stuff. We're just in the good episodes now. And we have Mike.
Hello.
Hello. Of questionable volume, if I don't know if anyone on stream could hear.
Yeah, my mic volume is at like 90% on my end, so you may want to raise me on yours if it's too quiet.
Oh no, you're boosted already 200% on mine.
Okay, hold on.
What I can do, I can lower the jazz, and then raise my system volume.
How's this? Is that better?
I don't... Tell me, stream, is that better? Can you hear both of us? If anyone else would like to join the Discord, there's a link in the description. You just click on that, click on Watch Along Voice Channel, and you can join the voice chat about the episode. How's the relative volume? 'Cause I can hear him, but I don't know if you guys can hear him clearly.
Hello, this is Michael. Can everybody hear me? Hello.
It's unclear. Nobody's saying nothing.
Yo, chat, wake up.
Ah, there. People can hear you, yes.
Cool.
We succeeded.
All right.
We also have Harmonix here. Hello, Harmonix.
Hi, Harmonix here.
Pleasure to be here today.
To your volume. Alright, levels seem good. So the first episode is Armageddon game with... I mean, a character that I immediately recognize and I think is in various Star Trek episodes, but I don't... As usual, I don't really know from where. He's just... Hopefully someone else will know where he's from. We'll get into that in about a minute. Yeah, anyone can join the Discord. Open anyone, there's no password on it. You just click on the channel. So I don't have to fill all the dead silence by myself, which is always ideal, because, you know, I don't talk that much. People don't want to listen to my stupid voice for 2.5 hours non-stop. Let's see, while we have a little bit more time to kill, what trivia does Amazon have for this episode? And how much of it is wrong? Jake Sisko does not appear? Okay. They auctioned off the props? Okay. It was originally supposed to feature Dax instead of O'Brien. Given what happens in this episode later on, with O'Brien and Bashir, I feel like this would be another Bashir being creepy to women episode, if they went with that original script. With O'Brien,
Possibly.
it works.
Also, so they call it a replicant at the end of the episode. Not to spoil
No, that's
too
the
much.
next one. Next one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, but
I forgot
5?
which one we were starting.
Hang on. I didn't queue myself up properly. Press play now. I'll queue myself up later. Don't worry about it. Yeah, this is the episode where they, Bashir and O'Brien have the harvesters that they need to fix. There's these little microscopic bioweapons that they're helping a species get rid of after a war. And when they get rid of the bioweapons, well, we'll see what happens in, like, 5 minutes. The inciting incident. There we go. It's the orange gel harvesters. These people all look like... They look like they should be in the Santa Claus movies. Like the workshop elves.
Oh, they totally do.
There's Chief O'Brien with his coffee, very important. He's not really doing much today. I guess his work's all done. He's just watching Julian do his stuff. Sorry, he's just watching Sadiq Al Tahir Al Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abu Karim Al Makti do his stuff. Muon influx. Muons are a thing. I don't know anyone pronounces them muons like a cow, but they're a thing. Honestly, kind of surprised they used a real particle. God, he so looks like an elf. He also looks familiar. He's not the guy I was thinking of, but he also looks familiar. Let's see. DS9 Armageddon game IMDb. I feel like he's in TNG. Larry Cedar, I think his name is, based on
He
the
plays
IMDb page.
on the Memory Alpha page. He plays Kazon and nondescript alien in Enterprise.
Okay. He plays Tessic as. Oh, that's who I'm thinking of. His character from Enterprise. He plays one of the Is it
Deuterium miner.
Yeah, he mines deuterium on a basically Tatooine, and there are a bunch of Klingon raiders that come and steal it.
Which somebody pointed out, I forget who, but the abundance of deuterium in the universe is like it's one of the most abundant elements. Like, why would they need to
It's
mine it at
literally
all?
just hydrogen. It's the most common thing in the universe. What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, this other guy is the one I was thinking of before, though. This male ambassador. Ambassador
I just
Sherrod.
looked him up. His name is Peter
Ooh.
White.
He's in.
I don't know what it is about this episode, but he reminds me of Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, I can see that. He has a similar facial structure. Assuming I'm thinking of the right person. The guy from Airplane?
Yep.
Okay.
Airplane, Naked Gun.
That's a lot of harvesters, I assume. It was played dramatic music, so that's probably a lot. So, Harmonix, do you have any thoughts on Leslie Nielsen?
Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
My comment on the last scene was it looks like they've been doing that for a while. Do you think they've been up in that station kind of doing experiments for weeks or so?
Oh, yeah, it's been weeks. Julian said it feels like it's been months, but just a few weeks. Yeah, it's a hard
Thanks.
job. But they're finally done, right? They can go home. Everything's fine.
That's the
Everything's
impression
probably
I got.
fine.
This is going to be a short episode. They're just going to get back in the runabout and head back to DS9.
No, they got a whole another 40 minutes to fill, so it's probably they're going to get back to the station and they're just going to have some interpersonal dynamics and stuff. They're going to maybe they're going to renew their vows, O'Brien and Keiko. They got married a while ago. They could do that. They got some time. Go to the bar, hang out with Morn. Should be a great time.
I think that's how I remember it going.
Boy, this title sequence is really long. Why do we even have title sequences? Is this necessary at all to anything?
No, not really. But I think I timed them all between all the series at one point, and they're all about a minute and 50 long.
But why? Why do we need
Yeah,
this?
no. It's a tradition.
Quick shot of the station, quick shot of the wormhole, cut. 20 seconds. Wait, I want. Okay, that is the right shot. I thought on that quick shot of O'Brien and Bashir that they had the wrong set in the background, but no, that's correct. Oh yeah, the Enterprise title sequence. I really like the Enterprise title sequence.
I like the video. I am not a huge fan of the song.
I don't know what people have against the song. I think the lyrics of it fit so perfectly with the theme of Enterprise.
It's just so cheesy.
Yeah, but Star Trek is cheesy.
This is true.
Look at these people's hair. Look at the elves in the background. I do like that ship, though. It's vaguely triangular. It's not the triangle ship, but it's a good general shape.
That's a reused ship from TNG.
Oh yeah, we've seen it a bunch of times already.
It was an Armach ship.
Chief Medical Log Supplement. Chief O'Brien and I are aboard at London, helping London.
Well, Mr. Ear Review, we're getting a bit of echo from the episode out of your mic. Oh, they're not gonna go hang out with Morn? That's unfortunate. Seems like they're pretty occupied over here. Don't worry though, you've got the hero of Setlik 3.
Well, you know your science experiment worked if people show up with guns.
Yeah. The Enterprise theme song is what they chose to play for New Horizons' wake-up call during its final approach to Pluto. Neat.
Okay,
It was
that's
a
cool.
long road getting to Pluto. Oh, they took the Ganges, that's why. Yeah, the Ganges is totally about to be shot down. You can do that? How does... Why is that a function? He didn't have time to actually program anything. He worked... Oh, that guy's head. My goodness. He was worked with that console for like 5 seconds. He couldn't have made a new programming thing. It had to be an existing function to overload that. Why is that a function on the console? More space elves? Do you suppose the triangular bits coming out of that woman's head, is that actually like wig, or is it just like a furry piece of triangular cardboard?
There's got to be something inside that.
They matched it to her hair pretty well.
Oh yeah, it
Oh my
looks good.
god, that hairspray.
Well, I mean,
Are we even seeing
maybe it doesn't look
Claire?
good, but it looks correct.
Yeah, that's not a real pun.
Man, what does a universal card reader look like in Star Trek? How can he read that thing? He's got to have, like, on my computer, I have one of my port things with like 5 different card readers for different sizes. I have to imagine Captain Cisco here, or sorry, Commander Cisco here. He's got to have thousands of little ports he puts these things into. That is some good universal compatibility.
I'd imagine he just gives them to Dax and she figures it out.
They use isolinear chips at this point. Well, they've been using it since CNG.
Well, in DS9 they're actually rods, but it's the same thing.
Right. Those are Cardassian rods.
Not Cardassian optolithic data rods, though, because those are manufactured only as needed on Cardassia.
True. Or they're still using their supply that they had from the Cardassian evacuation.
Man, if they had some left, that would have made In the Pale Moonlight so much easier if they had some left over.
True.
Could have solved so many problems.
So the thing
Still
that's
would have
throwing me
been
off about this,
Yep.
why is Deep Space Nine involved with this? Why didn't Starfleet just send some random scientist?
Maybe the planet's right next to Bajor? I don't know.
It just seems weird.
Yeah, they probably should have sent a science ship instead of a runabout. Don't we have Nova classes by this point? Send one of those. Yeah, we have to actually, because there's one in the Delta Quadrant already. There's the Equinox.
Yeah. I mean, the Oberth was also a general science ship class.
Yeah, but the Oberth is ugly. We don't send those anywhere.
They're old. They're from the TOS era.
No, they're not. The Pegasus was an Oberth class.
Pegasus was?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we never really got a clear shot of the Pegasus, given that it was, mostly inside rock. So I don't really
Yeah, but that was
remember
from
too clearly what the
It
ship
was from
was.
a generation ago when Pressman was captain, Riker was lieutenant.
Ensign, but
Fresh out of the Academy, head still can't even say today. Head still ringing with words like duty and honor. Fresh out of the Academy. Ensign Riker. At least O'Brien's being realistic about the situation. If you need to survive on some deserted planet, O'Brien and Bashir are probably the best combination to have. Because O'Brien, aside from his engineering skills, he has a lot of survival skills from his time in the military. And Bashir can keep him from dying.
oh, we actually see an Oberth in Deep Space Nine.
Oh, do we?
The
When do we see one?
USS Cochrane.
The Cochrane.
There's Excelsior used in the Dominion War, also.
What one was the USS Cochrane?
It showed up in the premiere episode.
Oh,
But you're right. You're right, though. Why is Deep Space Nine all of a sudden the International Atomic Energy Association? Responsible for liquidating biological warfare in the galaxy.
all right. Is this going to be a good deep fake? This video here? Or are they just going to put like a blinding flashing light and then everyone is just gone?
It's B.
They don't even want to be subtle of the fact that they're doctoring it, that they had a cut in the video.
Oh,
Okay, real video so far. Fake video. No, this is fake. This is deep fake video.
The ever important O'Brien sipping coffee.
It's critical.
photo's
to the
already
plot.
on it.
No, this is a pretty good fake. I mean, that effect maybe doesn't make sense, but Wasn't it a station, not a ship?
No, it's the Starmark ship.
Oh, right. I'm curious you weren't that close to O'Brien or Bashir. Don't need to be that upset about it. It's just a little light murder. You see these people all the time. Well, that's the last time we're ever going to see Siddiq El Tahir El Fadl Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim Al Mahdi. Never see him again.
You were practicing that since the Next Generation.
It's
Season
a
1.
good name. It deserves practicing.
You can see why he went to Siddig Al Fadel. He was probably tired of hearing that from you.
From me specifically. Okay.
So this may seem like an obvious question, but aren't they going to have to fly a ship over to investigate where they're at?
Good question.
I guess.
Also, that explosion was indistinguishable from a transporter beam, so I would not be impressed by that deep fake.
Is this a Bajor set?
It looks like the Mandalorian.
For some reason, those windows look really familiar. Oh, okay. So we do still get the Julian creeping on women. We got rid of Dax, but we still get the creepiness. Is he talking about? Is he still talking about Dax here?
No.
Cue this last fiction.
If we can just find a way to get rid of Keiko, we can get O'Brien and Bashir together.
Oh, they find
Maybe.
ways to get rid of. She
That
basically
episode
disappeared.
Keiko gets possessed? What if we actually let her die when she jumps off the ledge? Then Julian can sweep in, comfort O'Brien, and they can get even closer.
What about poor Garrick?
No, Garrick's physical. There's no emotional connection there.
Oh, that's fair.
Garrick's
You
a
guys
friends
are-
with benefits, not a husband. Look at them bickering like this. They're married already.
It's like Keiko who?
Oh, no, Orion, it's not hate for Keiko. It's nothing against Keiko. It's just that these two work really, really well together. Keiko's fine, but she's not as good as Bashir. I mean, look at the man. He's smart, he's accomplished. He has great chemistry with O'Brien.
He's showing signs of pregnancy.
Well, that's nice. At least the harvesters are being polite and being slow about the murder. Maybe you only got a very low dose. Yes, nothing against Keiko here. But as good as Keiko is, she can't compete with Julian and O'Brien. Oh, these harvester people were apparently using Jem'Hadar weapons. Not, canonically, but in terms of props. Typical. They probably got the harvesters from the Jem'Hadar in the first place. Or the Vorta. But O'Brien wasn't an officer.
He's
Can't be a
non-commissioned.
fine officer. Yeah. He can't be a fine officer if he's commissioned. By definition. Or non-commissioned.
No, non-commissioned officers are still officers.
Fine. Maybe Bashir's genetically enhanced intelligence will let him fix it. Look at that and immediately know how to do it.
Push, Brian.
Okay. So they're trying to send a distress signal with this, right?
Well, so right now they're operating under the assumption that the guys with the
Oh,
with
right,
the
that they were a
spiky
rogue faction.
that the aliens with the dark hair with the single like tall bun on the back are the bad guys, and that the triangle-haired people are not, because the people doing the attacking on the ship were just those bun guys. So they're thinking that the triangle-haired people are going to help.
Send them a message. Kill the buns, save the triangles. And I'm down for that. Save the triangles. That's important. And the buns do look weird.
It's like the inverse of Princess Leia. And the other ones are Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, kinda. Could do a bit of color correction, make them the appropriate color. What are you selling, Quark? Can you? Can you be thoughtful? How often is Quark thoughtful throughout the series? He brings some drinks to Kira when Kira's being kicked off the station in the circle. He caters for Cisco a couple times, but he always charges him for that. Even if it's supposed to be a favor. Yeah, Quark's not a very thoughtful guy.
Not at all.
He has his moments, but it's all about the profit. I mean, he's also stealing all his employees' tips and barely paying them anything to begin with, and, the exploitation of all the women that work for him. So, not a great guy.
And doesn't Odo work for him sometimes as a little waitress?
What?
I think you've been reading fan fiction there.
Well, in any particular shot, you tend to wonder if Odo's in it.
I suppose. You see, the thing with Keiko here, she's really trying her best for O'Brien, but Julian would know that he does drink coffee in the afternoon.
I don't think Odo ever psychs us out in the whole series.
What about that episode we just watched where he was evil when he was sleeping?
Yeah, I mean that was like a blob taking over subconsciously, but he never becomes Cisco to seize power.
Yeah, I'm thinking even that episode Dramatis Personae, where everyone is being affected by some mind-altering device, as they typically are in Star Trek, happens all the time. Everyone goes evil except Odo. Odo is the one who has to fix everything. Of course, we get Mirror Universe Odo, who I'm not even sure if Mirror Universe Odo is more evil. It seems like that might have just been Cardassian occupation Odo.
I mean, the closest is when he meets the female shapeshifter and he just becomes other shapes. But otherwise, he really doesn't enjoy having that ability.
Oh, he does. Speaking of the female shapeshifter, when he meets with her, that whole thing when they're about to retake the station, he kind of goes a little evil there. He starts talking about
Yeah.
the superiority of shapeshifters and he stops
Yeah, he becomes
helping kill.
brainwashed
Yeah.
for
He
sure.
gets better, but goes over to the other side just for a little bit.
He becomes racist against solids,
Yep.
like hella racist.
It's hard to find a lot of fault with him there because I can't imagine that he's completely prepared for exactly what the link can do to him,
Hmm
and he's obviously using it to their advantage.
hmm And solids were also pretty bad to him for most of his life.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe it's kind of hard to say. The Cardassians obviously didn't treat him great, but in the era post Cardassia, I think it's pretty okay.
Yeah, he fell in love with Kira. That was the only thing that made him come out of that racist
Yeah.
stint.
He was just really holding on to that grudge with Starfleet security when they sent another security chief to the station.
Yeah,
Really had a grudge against Solids for that.
Paddington.
Oh yeah, that was his name. I was thinking of Eddington, but you're right, there was someone before him. Or after him. Chief of surgery. But then he wouldn't be able to work in frontier medicine. Working with the kind, simple folk there on the frontier of Bajor. What is on that display? It's just like flashing a green gradient.
Yeah, it's a broken monitor he's working on.
Okay.
You're right.
Well, they're still there, Chief. Don't worry.
So if this is biological, why didn't Julian get it, and why isn't he catching it from Ryan?
Good question.
I guess it's not contagious.
Okay.
I mean, that seems like step number one of making a biological weapon, though. Make sure it's contagious.
If it's not contagious, no one would get it. But I assume mustard gas is a biological weapon, and you don't really give it to anyone else.
Well, it's chemical, technically.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, that's a difference. Yeah.
And the harvesters are little evil nanobots.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification.
I don't actually know if that's true. I just know their name is the harvesters, and that sounds like a nanobot. Just making stuff up.
It looks like his hand got assimilated, or his arm.
The Talani and the Kellerans are their names.
Yeah, the Talani or the
The
Princess
triangle
Leia.
people. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. We go by triangles here.
They're not even actually triangles. They wrap around the back of their heads. You just can't tell from the front.
And the Kellerans are the Oompa Loompa buns.
Yep.
According to Memory Alpha, the harvesters are a synthetic virus.
Okay, so it
So
is
they
like
should be replicating.
should be a nanoprobe.
They could be contagious, but they're not.
Like he's like really sick.
Oh yeah, he got infected by a bioweapon. What did he think was going to happen?
Yeah, but Bashir's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, the planet they're on right now is supposed to have been completely destroyed by the harvesters. So, like, this seems like a pretty decent plot hole that it's not obviously contagious.
Maybe
So they're
they
literally. Go ahead.
maybe they distributed the harvesters in the water supply so it doesn't spread, so they needed to find another vector to spread it wide. It can't be airborne, or
Possibly.
they would never be able to get rid of them.
Right.
Now, did he catch?
Yeah, that one looks like she has triangles on her head, but if we ever get a shot of the back of it, it's not.
It's a wraparound.
And there you can see it going around.
It's like the Centauri from Babylon 5.
Oh boy.
Did he catch the disease from the planet or from the station?
So when they were shooting everybody on the ship, one of the containers that was holding harvesters got blown up by a weapons fire, and a splash landed on his arm.
Thank you.
They probably should have been wearing some kind of suit if they're working with these things in the first place. If any skin contact means death, maybe you should, like, wear hazmat or something.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Or like if they're not going to do that in the 24th century, maybe have a containment field around the whole thing.
Nah, a little glass cylinder, that's all you need.
Okay,
It'll be fine.
sounds good.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, hey, there's a Ferengi logo on that one container.
Was there?
Just
Shocking.
over O'Brien's right shoulder. If the
Shoddy
camera ever moves
manufacturing.
again.
The white and black one?
There it is.
Oh yeah. To the left of his shoulder.
Yeah, over his right shoulder, but to the left.
Yeah, right.
Finally
Symbol
got
of the
tracked down.
Ferengi Alliance.
Maybe these supplies came from Gala. He sells weapons, and he bought his own moon. I don't know what Gala does with a moon, but he has one. Seems a little extreme. Also, I don't think the Federation would ever need to create harvesters. I don't think they need biological weapons. They can just destroy the planet.
Well, I don't think the worry is that the Federation would create them. I think the worry is that someone would coerce that knowledge out of them.
I mean, the Federation did kill the changelings with that virus.
And they might use the harvesters. Section 31 might.
You know, Section 31 would probably be interested in them.
It's like the Bond villain.
It's a good thing O'Brien wants to be dramatic about his death, or this would work out very poorly for him. Oh, that worked itself out. Maybe we should go to warp. You wanna leave? No? We're just gonna hang out? Dax? Or we... No, we're staying. Okay.
Pedal to the metal.
Yeah, a little runabout against two alien races.
Yep, they're still not going to warp. What is their
These
plan
villains,
here?
these villains do a lot of healing.
Well, they just want O'Brien and Julian back. They can get them without... Oh, did they leave the Ganges behind? Of course, it's the Ganges.
Oh, they didn't leave the Ganges behind.
Well, that was the one that's right under the ship.
Yes.
They're gonna have to go back and get it.
The whole point is that the short-range sensors don't work.
Oh, I know. I see what you mean. I remember now. So what ship is the other runabout then? It's not the Rio Grande, we know.
Is it the Yangtze Keon?
Could be. It is hard to take these people seriously with their haircuts.
I don't know. They seem pretty serious to me.
No, the Yangtze Keon we lost in the Kaiopaka episode.
Just just say fire, and you win. Just shoot him once.
So I think the Ganji, O'Brien and Bashir went aboard them on the Ganges, and then they come aboard. Dax and Cisco come through the other runabout, so they are leaving the Ganges there.
No, they just destroyed the Ganges. Or did they?
I think the Ganges is the one that's escaping. Because the Ganges is the one that O'Brien and Bashir came on. So it's not the one that Commander Cisco is in. So they had to beam from their runabout to the Ganges. Maybe we should stop talking about it and shoot them? No, lady, he's saying that's what you're going to tell everyone, not that that's what actually happened. Just say you saw them die.
According to Memory Alpha, it was the Ganges that got destroyed.
Here we go.
No, Julian, shut up. That's only something you say when they're about to die. Yeah, Keiko's gonna get jealous if Julian stays. We don't want that. They're still using the triangular pillows. Acting. They did it. See, Julian would have known that he drinks coffee. Julian would have known.
He's lying to Keiko
Typical
ever since he
Keiko.
got back.
All right, that's it for that episode. I really like that episode. I'm not sure. It is kind of hard to take the Oompa Loompa people seriously with their weird hair, but it's a good episode. And the next one, Whispers, is also really good, but it's a bit darker, as is typical of Deep Space Nine. You know, it's darker than the one where he got infected by a biological weapon and almost died. So, not happy times all around. Just a quick 1 minute timer on that. Everyone queue up to 0. DS9 Season 2, Episode 14, Whispers. And if anyone else wants to join the voice chat, there's a link to Discord in the description. If you click on that, then click the Watch Along voice chat channel, you can be in the chat. Oh, there's a bit of overlap there. There we go. 40 seconds.
So that other shuttle was the Galileo 7.
Is that true or are you making that up? Because that sounds made up. I'm pretty
I
sure that's a
told you.
TOS shuttle.
That's a TOS shuttle. I made that up.
Okay.
It was a great episode.
What happened in it? In the Galileo 7?
I think they made Zephram Cochrane or something, but in other words, they can't beam down, so they have to actually take a shuttle. And
All right,
apparently it's
press
called Galileo.
play in 3, 2, 1, play. Didn't... Yeah, Basically everything about Zephram Cochrane from TOS got retconned. The timeline that they give for TOS doesn't really make sense. So just pretend that didn't happen. It's all about first contact now.
It's like season 1 of TNG. Nothing happens later on that matches up.
Yeah. Season 1 and select parts of Season 2, you can just treat them as non-canon.
Yeah, especially
A
Data
lot
stuff.
of it
He's
doesn't
still
make
growing
sense.
into the role.
And especially relations with the Klingon Empire, too. That Klingon captain who had the Klingon Empire symbol and the United Federation of Planets symbol behind him, because they're part of the Federation. Yeah, that's not a thing. That never happened. It never
Never was.
happened. We made it up. Oh, is he drinking coffee? Must be the morning. If this whole episode takes place in a single day, since O'Brien never drinks coffee in the afternoon, he must finish the episode by noon, or maybe 1 p.m. Where'd Julian go? Yeah, here, Keiko's not being very nice to her husband. Also, how does Molly know something's wrong? We figure out why Keiko is so cold to O'Brien here. But why Molly? Surely Molly doesn't know what's happening.
I mean, kids are terrible in general, so
This is just one of those days where Molly has nothing to do with the fact he's a replicant.
Molly is better in this series than Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen were in Full House.
oh, no doubt. But I mean, my indictment of her being a kid is just generally because that's what I would expect from a kid. Sometimes they're just crappy.
Even when she's mean, she's like the cutest kid ever.
Oh, that's true. Molly's probably upset because she knows that Miles is cheating on her, on Keiko, with Julian.
I mean, several
Molly
lies
knows
are
what's up.
confirmed. I only drink coffee in the morning. Nothing happened down on the planet.
Of course, Miles is also cheating on her with Garrick. He's not a very committed man.
That's why Julian wears those silky outfits when they play racquetball.
He's just fulfilling a stereotype about gingers. Sorry, gingers.
To Curtis, you can't make changes without the chief of operations. What are you doing?
Is this the Generations uniforms?
I mean, literally, yes. Because
Yeah.
in Generations, they literally wore the uniforms from Deep Space Nine. They didn't make new ones. That's why Riker looks like he's in oversized pajamas.
Oh, there's another pack lead. As we found out in, well, I guess I shouldn't spoil things. Never mind. Disregard the whole pack lead comment. I'll just say watch Lower Decks. That's all I've got to say about that. Boy, O'Brien is really suspicious right off the bat. I mean, yeah, he saw Keiko talking to Cisco, which she didn't mention she was going to do, but what if he was just passing by the school and she needed to talk to him? O'Brien, you don't need to be so paranoid. He's correct, but he has no reason to suspect at this point. Brian's being weird. Must be the
I feel like
replicant
everyone
in him.
else is being crabby. Like his wife was like, "Yeah, I'm up. I'm taking the girl," and then his subordinate starts rewiring the security net. Something's up.
Yeah, this is a really long title sequence. Let's see
The
exactly how long. He said a minute 50.
Yeah,
So
that's just what I remember.
It started at 5:20, and it goes to about
Sig-
7:10.
He's Siddig El Fidel here.
Yeah, he changes to Alexander Siddiq in season
Alexander.
3.
Okay. I'm sorry, you were clocking the slow motion time. The
So yeah, a minute 50.
Yeah, I just found the song, the actual theme on YouTube, and the video itself is a minute 56.
minstrel boy to war has gone. The minstrel boy to war has gone.
It's like having that shot from the motion picture that lasts way too long on the Enterprise every episode. We
Oh
don't need
gosh, that
this many angles of the station.
the flyby in the motion picture was more like 5 minutes long.
I know, but Jesus Christ, that movie. What is with that movie? Were they really just trying to copy 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah. And get a blockbuster like Star Wars. Yeah.
Ah, yes, Star Wars, that thrilling action adventure movie. Let's make the opposite of that.
They had Princess Leia. We have bald Princess Kambata.
I actually like the motion picture quite a lot.
Okay, you do you, but it's not the movie for me, I would say. You can like
Some people,
whatever you want.
some people say it's their favorite movie, and I'm just like, how?
I don't know if I'd go
How?
favorite.
Nah, man, that's the one with the whales.
I like retconning the Borg as V'ger. That's really clever. And I think the director's cut is a little bit faster paced than the theatrical cut.
His birthday's in September, good to know. It's very important. Maybe we can celebrate his birthday later.
Confirmed.
Julian, do you just want an excuse to get O'Brien naked in your office? Do they? No, I guess it makes sense to have an annual report. Make sure nobody is unfit for duty on the station that's so important to them. And Cisco is so much better at this than everyone else. Nobody else is being subtle.
Wait, they're engaged?
Could you be more specific?
He's saying he was engaged in something for 12 years with Julian? What did you...
I'm thinking about. We know later on in the episode, we find out Chief O'Brien is a replicant here. This isn't Chief O'Brien. I assume that means he's a biological clone, not like an android. Is
Yeah.
this the same stuff that the Dominion does? Because he has the same personality and memories as O'Brien. Like the way
Well-
clones do.
If he's a replicant in the Blade Runner sense, then he was put together piece by piece from actual biological components.
Oh, is that what a Blade Runner replicant is?
Yeah, they have people actually make individual biological components and then put them together.
So they're not like
That seems tedious.
peers.
No.
Why would Keiko? Why? So they were specifically out front of the school. There's no reason to be for him to be upset that Keiko was talking to Cisco outside the school if he was passing by.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to hide if it was outside the school.
Yeah, so my takeaway from that entire conversation was that Brian was avoiding something.
I guess the replicant is terrified of physicals.
So yeah, he's definitely got to be biological here if Julian can't see what's up. Why did O'Brien change out of his uniform? This doesn't seem necessary for a physical. Julian, what? Why?
That's not part of any physical.
No, that's just Julian being jealous of Keiko now.
Yeah. You can ask how the stools are.
I mean, someone quoted that line in the YouTube chat, but I thought they were joking. But no, that he actually. Okay. Poor O'Brien.
We gave him the girl robe.
What does that even mean? What do you mean it's a girl robe?
It's the better looking robe of like when you're, you know, at the hospital.
Wait, so Jake doesn't know that he's a replicant, but Molly does?
Once again, I think she's just being a kid.
We got to keep the audience in suspense. I didn't read the memory alpha before I watched the episode.
All right, I guess we are gonna have to go with your probably quite accurate theory that Molly's just being mean today.
I'm kind of
I mean-
enjoying your replicant talk because I'm not even sure if that's how this episode ends out. I haven't read the.
It seems
nope,
like-
there's no replicants here. Don't worry about it.
It seems like Molly being crappy is the most plausible explanation, because how do you tell a 4-year-old or however old she is to keep a secret like that?
Well, you probably don't have to, because even if she did say that, It's not like O'Brien would believe her. Just her being a little kid. Now Commander Cisco's eavesdropping on people's phone calls.
If someone's a security threat, you just confine them to quarters. Give them the day off.
I think they might be afraid of setting off his programming too soon.
Now
I mean,
Curtis is
that's
lying to him.
that's the only justification I can think of. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of just like, hey, why don't we just put him in a cell and hold on for
Like-
a little while?
Look, O'Brien, we're sorry, but we suspect something might have happened to you on the Parada homeworld. We gotta confine you while we figure things out, okay? Okay, cool.
And Molly, don't tell your father.
It looks kind of similar to a self-sealing stem bolt. But like a mini one.
This must have been a really cool set for D69.
It is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed they didn't build the entire promenade. It's like half the circle, which is still absolutely massive. They could have made the whole thing. We could have had a whole promenade.
With quarks in the center, yeah. It's better than the TNG hallways.
You mean the TNG
Yeah.
hallway singular?
Yeah. Corridor.
You just have the one hallway. That ship is just very monotonous design. The entire ship looks the same. Do they sell junk on the promenade? They sell Jumja sticks. It's not like... No, we can go to Quarks. Is it cheating if it's a replicant of your husband?
Let's make another
think-
Molly.
Keiko seems to think so.
Man, he's
Come on, Kate.
having
All you have to
the
do
worst
to
day.
solve the problem is just sleep with your replicant husband. Take care of all the security issues. No, don't do that. What were you gonna say though?
It's a rough way to treat a guy.
Is that Andorian ale? What's with the blue drink?
I guess that's like the Pepsi to Coke for Romulan ale or an Andorian ale.
Yeah, O'Brien's really going off the deep end here. Everyone's being weird, but he really thinks she's gonna poison him. I mean, I don't know why she's staring at him so intently.
No sex, no food, no friends.
Miles, if you seriously think your wife is trying to poison you, maybe you should file for divorce. That seems like a deal breaker.
O'Brien's no good, very bad, terrible day.
Yep. O'Brien must suffer, we know this. It's just a fact of life.
They should just put him on a shuttle to Bajor.
I love that he's talking to himself right now.
Well, nobody else will talk to him. Yeah, O'Brien maybe should see a counselor. This, even with everything weird that's been happening on the station, why would you suspect that's literally not Keiko? Other than the fact that this is Star Trek.
And she sends the kid away.
Maybe she just doesn't like you anymore. Oh, you can do a lot of work from home. Neural wave patterns? It can scan for that?
It's
So
like the
not
EKG
only
or the-
not only can it scan for neural wave patterns, it can compare them against previous scans of neural wave patterns, implying that it does this regularly.
True. Now we know how the doors open.
Yeah, I know Voyager does that. I think they explicitly state that Voyager is always scanning people.
Big Lacars. Big data.
I mean, I'd be down for a big data. Yeah, the Federation's a dystopia. This place messed up.
Chrome OS becomes Lacars. Or Android.
That is a dystopia.
Yeah, I'm glad the computer has a check there, because if it started playing back every log, this would take forever. They got an admiral here. Admiral Gupta.
Transcribe means they still type out their logs.
No, it's just voice to text.
Then that would be vocal too.
But it's an automatic transcription.
hmm
Because they have the main computer core.
It wouldn't be a very interesting shot though if the computer's just reading aloud the transcriptions.
I'm not sure why it said access denied and just stop instead of just stopping reading. O'Brien, Epsilon, Alpha, and then it cut away. Now the computer's acting weird.
Was that Bajoran always in ops?
I don't know about her specifically, but there are Bajorans in Ops.
Cool.
I don't recognize her.
It's Joint Command, but I never really noticed anyone sitting there before.
Yeah, but I also don't recognize that Starfleet officer or that dude
Yeah.
on the left that was out of shot. That
Right, but
guy.
I'm saying I never saw that station before. Like as soon as you leave the turbo lift,
I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
it must be there. DS9 is joint run by Starfleet and Bajoran.
Oh, hey, DeCurtis. There's a nice relaxing hum down there in the pit, as we learn later. Puts babies to sleep. When do we get Hard Time? Is that season 2?
Ooh, I think that's like 3 or 4.
I'm trying to think of all the O'Brien Must Suffer episodes. And that's probably the biggest one.
Season
Tribunal
4,
season 2, I'm pretty sure.
episode 19.
I think the next O'Brien Must Suffer episode is the one where he's time traveling.
Oh, right. And then he's replaced by a different O'Brien. Well, the same O'Brien, but from a different time.
He was never this angry on Next Generation.
Well, in Next Generation, O'Brien was dead inside because he just stood at a console all day doing nothing.
Yeah, this position
O'Brien
is
had
much
no
more
capacity
stress.
for emotion.
A lot more stress. He had the camaraderie with his old captain from Setlick 3.
The evil one? Yeah, O'Brien, or not O'Brien. Well, him too. But Odo's a nice guy. He's doing his best here. Unfortunately for O'Brien, Odo will get to the bottom of this. Maybe not the best ally he could have gotten. Is he making a weapon?
Looks like that thing he gave to
Wait.
Jake earlier.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that Jake's science project? Are the bets still on for the second one? Quark's making a good bit of money off those. I imagine the Prados would probably... They would probably be receptive to buying soaps, Quark. Maybe some exfoliants. Maybe some peppermint they could put under their noses. Given the fact that O'Brien said they all smell. Every single one of them.
This episode is racist against Irish people.
Wait, how?
He's always angry. Sorry, you're right. Paradas need exfoliating soap.
I mean, O'Brien's angry here, but I don't think that has anything to do with him being Irish. I think there's just because the situation on the station
Or PTSD or something.
and the
think he's
fact that
just
it's not
stressed.
O'Brien.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah, he does have a lot of stress going on for him right now.
Oh, Jay Ann in the chat points out that Tribunal is coming up, which is a pretty classic
Yep.
O'Brien Must Suffer episode.
That was a pretty good effect there. Very impressive. Yeah, them saying we don't want to hurt you would probably be more convincing if they weren't aiming multiple guns at him at the time.
Yeah. Cisco didn't have to be there with the gun.
Oh, the Rio Grande. Oh, it'll be fine. Okay, there's one force field, but
So
No,
this
no
trick he
second
pulls
force
here
field?
never made sense to me.
just turn on every force field in the station.
Yeah.
Well, I figure he set it up in such a way that it's impossible for them to get to him unless they shut down the entire force field like power grid. But they could have just kept him locked in place, I guess, and like transported to him
Yeah.
or transported him
basically-
out.
He knows the electrical grid in and out. So he can hack it pretty much whenever he wants. Zap the captain's son, man.
This would actually go much better for him if he surrendered, though. Because Federation security officers aren't going to just murder him.
Did he have like a little firecracker on him when he was in the security office?
He had that little Jake Sisko's science project that for some
Oh,
reason
okay.
exploded into a flashbang.
Thanks, I missed that.
But they used CGI. They didn't even have the courage to flashbang their own actors. Disappointing. Oh, good job, O'Brien.
He's a what kind of replicant is a klutz?
Maybe if Federation uniforms had pockets, he could have held on to it. This looks like a place another force field could be. No? Okay. Not turning them back on. Just off forever.
And the Jeffries tube got huge all of a sudden. Supposed to be enough space to crawl through.
Actually, I think that's consistent for Terok Nor. Because there was, in those season 2 premieres, like The Circle, they were hiding in the Jeffries tube for a while, and there were multiple of them in there, just sort of sitting around.
Gotcha.
And I think DS9's Jeffries tubes are actually pretty big. because they're Cardassian.
Thank you.
Docking clamps? Nope. No docking clamps for them. Man, runabouts really are heavily shielded. They can withstand Jem'Hadar fire. They can withstand the space station fire. They can take on anything. Those things were destroying, like, Klingon warbirds in one shot. Must be because it's the Rio Grande. No, she understands perfectly, Chief. The one time someone actually reports an emergency situation in all the series, and they don't take it seriously. It never
I
works.
thought only Alex Kurtz's Star Trek had witchy admirals.
What is happening?
No objection by the prophets. We're letting him through. Wait, why is he going to the Gamma Quadrant?
That's where the
Oh, he's going to
Paradans
warn
are.
the Paradon. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, he's already there.
Well, I mean, what we just saw was the beginning of the episode, and now we're caught up to the present.
Yeah. We've been having flashbacks.
Oh, good.
You know, maybe if the station had some kind of larger, faster ship that could pursue a runabout, they'd be able to fix this. It's just too bad they only have runabouts. Oh, the computer was even nice enough to put the timer on screen. That's some good programming. Okay, O'Brien, you don't need to tell the computer that, though. The computer knows. They didn't turn the lights down in the runabout. They always turn down the lights when they shut down power. I'm trying to read that display, but it's just so low resolution. Warp propulsion systems. Something. Yeah, I have no idea what the rest of it says. Just warp propulsion systems. Oh, it's that one cave set, except it's sort of whitish blue this time. Very interesting. How do you suppose they changed the color of these caves? Because they definitely did. And they installed a door.
Looks like the Vidians and Voyager use the same set. How did they get here?
They were on the that runabout that was pursuing him.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you.
Again, Kira, you were aiming guns at him and trying to arrest him. Maybe. Okay. All right. Sorted that out immediately.
Why do you care
Now,
about him?
if more people in Star Trek would just do that, when someone's clearly trying to is a threat to them, just shoot him. That could have solved so many problems. All you have to do is listen to Worf when he suggests shooting someone.
That's the Zindi.
Oh, that's Degra, isn't it?
The reptilians.
Is it? Who is this
No,
guy?
just from the other angle.
What are you saying? It's actually the same actor, or it's they just look similar?
No, they just look really similar.
Okay. It does sound like Degra, though.
All he needs is a Nazi uniform.
Now I want to look it up. Is that actually Degra?
It's not one of his listed roles.
No, it's not him. Just some dude who sounds kind of like him. Julian.
He didn't finish that sentence, huh?
No, we'll never know. We'll never know what he was going to say. You might assume it's Keiko, but we don't know that.
Yeah, the Paradin dude was an actor named Philip Lestrange, and he's got no other roles in Star Trek, and I can't find a picture of him.
Okay.
Maybe that was his actual face.
You never know. So the next episode is Paradise, which is another really good one. Except the ending. I'm not terribly keen on the ending. But we'll get to that. Degra is definitely not in this episode. I can confirm that right now. There is no Degra here.
Did you guys read the plot to this one too?
I
No,
don't
but I've
read
seen
the
it a
plot
good
to any
dozen
of-
times.
No, I know. Mike, I'm sorry. I do know that you're really better than Star Trek trivia than I am. So
I have seen Deep Space Nine so many times, it's not even funny.
I mean, you're really good in the TNG chat too.
And
Not
TNG is the
season
one I
one, I'm
grew up
not.
on.
Mike is just like I'm good, but it's like he watched he watches it every year
Oh,
or
hang
something.
on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, continue.
Every year would be less frequently than I watch. I've probably watched them multiple times a year. I mean, it's my
That is-
TV comfort food. If I want something to watch, I go to Star Trek. That's just all there is to it.
It's like doing the dishes or something, doing some other chores. Just put on some headphones, listen to some Star Trek.
I'm a little jealous because before you got here, I was the second in command of the Trek knowledge to Ryan, and now you got the number 1 position. So I'll just have to be second
You are
officer.
reduced to 3 of 4.
Yeah,
No,
it's okay though.
you don't need to be knowledgeable of every little piece of Star Trek trivia to be entertaining.
Glad to have you though.
I'm happy to be here.
You certainly know more trivia than Amazon does. You should send him to Garrick. Actually, Garrick still has his happy implant right now. Garrick's high at the moment.
Not for much longer.
Nope. It's about to get ripped right out of his skull. Not this week, though. This is the last episode for this week.
If we keep the current schedule, it'll be 3 weeks before that happens.
Oh, this is
Okay.
very Gene Wilder-esque right here.
So, O'Brien, do you not know what Duonetic... You seem familiar with them. Why would you let both of you beam down together? Yeah, I see your chat, Mitchell. It's showing up for me. And it's showing up on stream. So I guess O'Brien doesn't know about duonetic fields. Is he wearing a Robin Hood outfit? Alright, we got a good 2 minutes to kill now. Let's see about Amazon trivia for the episode.
So here's a little bit of trivia that Amazon may not know. One of the actresses in this episode originally played Ensign Sue in Arsenal of Freedom, the TNG episode where they go to the empty planet.
Amazon does know that.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them.
Julia Nixon, Cassandra, also played Ensign Leon Sue on the Enterprise D in Star Trek TNG. This episode sets up Jake's ongoing apprenticeship to O'Brien, which would become official in the next episode. When the arrow shot at O'Brien hits a tree, he brushes it away as he runs away. The arrow flexes along its entire shaft and all flights moving back and forth, showing it's made of a flexible material instead of a solid arrow shaft. Okay. First episode where Rene Aubergenois and Sadiq El-Fadil do not appear. Okay. They spelled O'Brien wrong here.
That's
Wait, I should probably
racist against
resync. Alright, I'm just resyncing
I'd be more
myself.
afraid of an
Just continue.
arrow than a phaser, because an arrow, the person shooting it knows how to, they know how to fire it. You know what I mean?
An arrow doesn't have a stun setting.
I do remember reading a long time ago that the producers or the writers were not happy with the casting of the cult leader lady. They wanted her to be more sympathetic, and this lady just comes off as absolutely nuts.
Not even slightly sympathetic. Hate this woman. Not the actress. I like the episode. But she's
The
like a
performance
Kai
is
Wynn.
just- Yeah, the performance is very, very off if they were going for sympathetic.
Man, what are you wearing? He really does just have a discount Robin Hood outfit.
I
He
was
just needs
gonna
a
sing
hat.
the minstrel boy during the opening credits, but okay. I'm just number
What's with
3
you
here.
and Minstrel Boy? You've been singing Minstrel Boy all stream. Were you watching that episode today?
No, I looked at the lyrics though, because I kind of know the tune.
The minstrel boy to the war is gone, in the ranks of death you will find him. His father's sword he hath girded on, and his
Harp, wild harp, slung behind him.
that's right. And his wild harp slung behind him. Something song said the warrior bard. It's been a while, I don't remember all of it. Yeah, before the credits, I was looking at it when it was out of focus, it looked like he had a hat. But it was really blurry. Maybe it was just some weird artifact of his hair. I mean, that other dude has a hat. He has a sun hat. Which I guess he made himself, because I don't think they brought it on the ship. Santa Maria. Okay. They
Why
took
would
the Santa Maria
Starfleet
to find a new world.
name one of their vessels after one of the most infamous explorers ships in human history?
I mean, why not? They did, they are led by someone who we all hate for being, kind of evil. She wasn't the captain, but she is now. She looks like one of the screens. She looks like the screen leader. I don't think it's the same actress, but she
No,
looks
it's
similar.
not.
Oh yeah, that's Ensign Sue, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't actually know anything about Ensign Sue. I don't remember who that was, but I think that's Cassandra.
She was the ops officer when Geordi was commanding the Enterprise in orbit of the weapons system selling planet.
Okay. Oh yeah, she looks way different. Unblur the screen here. Yeah. This is what she looks like in TNG.
Yep.
Oh wow, I know her. She's from Farpoint, right?
I don't know.
Farpoint?
Looks like
Encounter at Farpoint, the pilot.
No, I don't think she was in that episode. She was in Arsenal of Freedom. I know that for sure.
Thank you.
But you could be doing better with tricorders, NDM converters, and comm links. I mean, because Cassandra doesn't need clothes to stay warm. She very breezy, I suppose that dress is. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony. Everyone wants to leave except Elixis, and nobody leaves except Elixis. Yeah, I mean, she seems nice for the moment. For the moment. Okay, that comment was... Okay, yeah, now she's evil. Never mind.
She has a very strange delivery too, and I don't think it's like direction. I think the actress is just that way.
She's
She
just
has a very
doing her best cult
breathy.
leader.
Yeah, it's a very breathy delivery a lot of times. She adds exhalations in the middle of words in weird places, and it's just strange.
Cardassian foreign policy. Isn't Cardassian foreign policy just kill and enslave? That is odd, because Benjamin was the only one who was actually decent at bluffing in the last episode. He was so much better. What do you mean it's racist to say the Cardassians' foreign policy is just to kill and enslave? You can't be racist against those spoonheads. They deserve it.
Wow.
They go and join the Dominion. They're just the worst. Julian would never say that to you, O'Brien. Well, he would, but it would be from a place of love, not derogatory. I don't know why Alexis felt all this was necessary. Alexis could have just gone to one of the colonies that is actually just like this. She could have gone to Space Scotland. It has weather control, but otherwise it's pretty technology free.
I mean, examining the logic of an extremist is probably not the best way to pursue this.
Those technology free societies weren't technology free enough.
Precisely.
She could have gone and lived with those Irish stereotypes. They didn't have any technology. The ones with the chickens.
If only
I mean,
they
why
had
are you telling
technology for
Joseph?
this one.
Joseph ain't a doctor. Can't just strap spinach to someone's arm and expect it to heal them. I don't think they would let her settle with the Mintakans. That's probably against the rules, but she could try. So these people have just been trying basically every herb they found in the forest because they can't identify any of it. It's all alien plants, and they have no technology to look at the specific composition of them. This seems wildly dangerous. You don't exactly have a large population where you can lose a couple people. And also, is this colony large enough to support the genetic diversity needed? There's like a dozen adults here. Hang on, how many people do you need? What's a minimum viable population? Minimum viable human population. Minimum population size of 50 was necessary to combat inbreeding. Minimum of 500 needed to reduce genetic drift. So basically 50 is the absolute bare minimum. They do not have 50 people here. They absolutely do not. This colony is doomed. Especially since they've been experimenting with all the plant work, all the plant life, and killing various colonists that they have with them. Just further reducing their own population. Oh, I'm surprised the Romulans didn't destroy that. Also, how did the Romulans find it? Are there Romulans in Federation space? They had to have brought plant samples with them. Like a bunch of seeds on the ship or something.
Now, is colonization part of Starfleet training?
Maybe it's covered in their survival training they take. How to establish a little self-sufficient garden if you crash land somewhere. Oh boy, more evil cultishness. Oh boy. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't just put people in a box and have them be punished that way. That's just torture.
Oh, his face.
It's like 1800s slave punishment. No, this isn't a Federation. Well, it might be in Federation space, but it's not an official colony. Nobody knew they were here. Yeah, how did Alexis get everyone to agree to this? Everyone approved putting people in a box and having them be tortured. Yeah, real. This guy's got issues. All right, are we gonna get Cisco glaring at her for being a cult leader now? Could really use a glare here. Yep, there's the glare. What would be a good alternative punishment to locking people in a box if they steal a candle? Just. And you can't really reduce their rations. You don't have that much to begin with.
I mean, we throw people in jail. That's basically locking them in a box.
Yeah, but not in a small box with no
Coffin.
lighting whatsoever where they can't even move in the heat.
What
And if
about
they
just
dedicate
banning them from
a
using
room in the
candles?
shuttle to that.
Sorry.
If you can't lock people away for very long because you need everyone's help all working together to maintain the colony in the first place because it's on the verge of collapse at all times.
Yeah, it reminds me of colonial America. They had stocks.
Maybe just take away their luxuries for some period of time. Like you commit a
lock 'em
crime, you're
in
not
the
allowed to have the books or the candles or whatever else. Cassandra, what are you doing? Yeah, maybe don't use the candle stealer as a candle. That might be a little extreme. That might slightly reduce the population. That's already not viable because it's too small. You can't have too much punishment, yeah. Poor behavior. We're getting some more Elixis or Holovi? What was I saying? Philosophy. I think we can all agree with Cisco here. Alexis has some major psychological problems. This woman's a psychopath.
It's really great to see someone take on Ben on the same level, though. Not to make it sound like a soap opera.
I mean, is this not a soap opera? In space?
It is.
Yeah, very convenient, Alexis. Everything you have doesn't require electricity. So when you crash land on this electricity-less planet, you're the only one who actually has any materials. Everyone else has to rely on you. Getting right to the point. What else is he supposed to wear? Do you have that many extra clothes you can give him a full outfit? What would Cisco's core identity be? It seems Cisco at his core is kind of a violent man. He really likes punching people. He really likes bombing people. He punched a god that one time. I'm not sure Elixis wants to see his core identity. I mean, there's also a lot of cooking, but I mean, he does that anyway. And he can't be fatherly because Jake isn't here, so It's mostly just the punch-in. Some kind of native pair. Well, Alexis, maybe you'd be less short-handed if you stopped locking people in a box. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the uniform. The uniforms, I think they say that at some point they are specifically designed to be comfortable. So Alexis, I don't think you need to worry about that. It's probably okay. I mean, I assume she doesn't have some symbolic reason she wants them to change out of their uniforms. It's probably just purely practical. Once we're a beam, do they actually use actual naval terms here? They don't do that. Not since like TNG season 1. I The way Dax said that, I don't know if I wanted to elaborate on that point. So what are the rules about beaming at warp at this point? Didn't they solve that in TOS? Can't they beam onto warping vessels? I would think it's not too much of a problem right now.
TOS is my trivia weak spot. I don't remember.
They definitely did
Alright.
in the 2009 movie, and it was old Spock from the Prime timeline that gave them the transwarp beaming formula. But when did Spock get that? He said that Scotty invented it, but when did Scotty invent it? He had to have done it by now, because Scotty's retired. He's not dead because of the whole transporter thing, but he had to have developed the transwarp beaming before he got locked on the Dyson sphere. They have to have that available by now.
Let me know when you stream TOS season 1 so I can be number 1 again.
It might be a few years, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
Because probably after this is going to be Voyager and Enterprise, and then TOS. And then that should be far enough that people have stopped blindly hating on Discovery for no reason, so we can do that.
It reminds me of the Essentialists, which show up later on Ryza, or like anti-technology people.
I can see some similarities there. Yeah, every series, not necessarily in release order, just in whatever order I feel like, really. TNG and DS9 are the two best series in my opinion. And then Voyager and Enterprise, so I'm going to do those next. So I guess in order of which ones I like the most. Then Voyager, Enterprise, then TOS. God, I hate this woman. No, TNG, we're not done with TNG. We just watched TNG on Saturday and DS9 on Sunday. So we have two series going at a time. DS9 is going to finish first because it has slightly fewer episodes. So then that'll go into TNG Saturday, Voyager Sunday. Then TNG will finish. Then it'll be Enterprise Saturday, Voyager Sunday. And then Enterprise will finish, and it'll be TOS Saturday, Voyager Sunday, and then Voyager will finish. Then it'll be and it just goes on and on and on. And they just keep making more Star Trek, which I'm not objecting to. That's a good thing. Really excited for the Discovery Season 3 premiere on Thursday. I've read some things about it that I think mean that for me, I'll like episode 2 and on more than episode 1. But that's just a matter of personal preference. What am I looking for in the show? And I don't want to say what I've read because I don't know if it'll be true. And if it is true, I don't want to spoil anything because it hasn't actually come out yet. The Klingons in Discovery do look way different. Yeah, poor Cisco being locked in the box. Now this is very uncomfortably reminiscent of like Django Unchained. With Cisco being locked in there. I don't mind the Klingons on Discovery. I don't like the fact that in the first few episodes they're always talking in Klingon. Just because that means I can't have it on my second screen and be able to hear what's happening without actually watching the screen. But that's the only real reason I object to it. I want to be able to listen to it in the background and understand what's being said. But they already switched out of that like 20 episodes ago. The Klingons speak in English now. How do you miss a star? Well, I guess it was really far away, so fair enough, I guess.
It depends on who went up to do it too. If she sent her son up, who like probably has absolutely no experience with technology, he might have just screwed it up.
Yeah. 10 year. They've been there 10 years, so he was a little kid when they crashed there.
Yeah.
No idea how to pilot a shuttle. Don't, Alexis, don't pretend like you're concerned about Cisco's well-being here. Yes, you can. You just don't want to. Because you're a psychopath. Yeah, I don't think Cisco's open to it. I think he's pretty committed to going home and probably taking you with him. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't use the guy who stole the candle as a candle, but maybe we could use Alexis as a candle. That might be for the best. But then it would really make the colony smell bad. Maybe just send her away. Just exile her, it'll be fine. Actually, you know that? We're about to find out. Spoilers for the episode. We're about to find out that Alexis has a duonetic field generator that's preventing them from using technology. So if they just went and settled somewhere else, they honestly would have been fine. They could just leave. Can't have that big of a range. See, Cassandra's starting to turn against Alexis just a little bit with that look. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, Cisco's really making his point pretty effectively here. Alexis is not, yeah, this whole thing they have set up, it's not a good society. We couldn't respect canon with the Klingon design. May I introduce you to all of the rest of Star Trek where the Klingons just keep changing what they look like every series? They always change. Worf changes in the same series. He looks completely different in season 1 than season 7. It's a different person. Klingons have never been consistent.
And I mean, all of the aliens change a little bit.
Yeah, the Trills changed from TNG to DS9.
I just think it's funny that there are people who are complaining about the change of Klingons from TNG to Discovery, and they're just not even talking about TOS to TNG
Or TNG to TNG.
or TNG to TNG
The
or
mid-series
motion
change.
picture to TNG, because the motion picture they were different too. They look closer to TNG, but they're actually not quite the same.
Ain't nothing wrong with visual reboots. The only species that doesn't get rebooted is the humans, for obvious reasons.
Even the Bajorans changed from TNG to Deep Space Nine, because Ensign Ro, like, it wasn't just nose ridges they had on her. She actually had eyebrow ridges too that everybody forgets about.
And most importantly, they were called the Bajora in TNG.
Right.
How dare they?
I mean, in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, when Picard meets with Cisco, he says, "Welcome to Bajor."
Yeah, so if you need a reason, I don't remember if they gave a reason in Discovery. I think the writers actually gave a reason why they look different, like just the fact that it's an entire planet and empire. So some people look different. But if you need a reason other than that, you can just say the Klingons look different in Discovery because of reasons we don't discuss with outsiders. Just don't worry about it.
Ro Laren was supposed to be on this show. Just she
Yeah,
wouldn't
as
sign
Major
up.
Kira.
Yeah. Well, no, she was supposed to be Ro Laren, but
Well, yeah, but
she didn't.
the
come.
role that
Oh,
turned
right,
into Major Kira.
Right. Yeah. But did you
Roland
know
would
that,
be
Mike?
pretty. Go ahead.
Oh yes,
Everyone loves Rolaren. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was the original terrorist. Man, you could easily die in that box.
Oh yeah.
I actually think it is far more implausible that he's still alive.
Yeah. It's hot metal baking in the sun.
And they're not giving him water.
Yeah.
And some things like the TOS Enterprise looking completely different in later series, like in Discovery. The TOS Enterprise does not look like a real starship. It looks like a prop.
Yeah. It's I don't know if you've ever seen it in person, but it is actually quite a bit more detailed than we ever see in the show. But like that's not something you see in the original episodes.
Yeah, in the show it just looks like flat gray plastic.
Yeah. It's actually on display in the Smithsonian, so you can go and see the original model, but like
Yeah, I'll have to go see it at some point. Seems like it's worth the trip. Smithsonian's pretty
Washington
cool in
D.C. is one
general.
of my favorite places to go. There's so much
How long
cool
has it
stuff
been
there.
there? Because I was in DC like 15 years ago.
So it went on. So they took it off display for a while. It's been there for a while, but they took it off display for a few years to completely restore it, and it only went back up on display in like 2016.
Okay. I'll have to go check it out at some point. I don't know how I'm going to get there because I'm on the exact opposite side of the country.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I'm only about 4 hours away.
you know what? I'll go when I run for president in, 10, 15 years and become president and win immediately. And then I'll go into the Smithsonian because I'll be in the city. It'll be fine. Run on the platform of, you guys like Star Trek, right?
Marianne Williamson is in this episode.
Who's that?
She ran for president in the Democratic primary.
Yeah, she's not in this episode. It's a joke.
I'm just kidding.
Oh. Oh, was she the crazy one?
I mean, she never actually endorsed crystals, but people were joking that she did.
Okay.
Healing crystals. Now put her in the box.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you, Alexis. It's easy to say that right now that he's perfectly healthy and looking like an augment.
Reminds you of The Village.
Yeah, they're beaming to the runabout. They had no way of knowing before now that the runabout was sent away. So that's what they've been trying to do the whole time. But luckily for them, they have another runabout now. Yeah, the runabouts have transporters. They're right behind the cockpit. In that bit that looks like a corridor between the cockpit and the living area, that's where the transporter is.
See, this is the part I don't get this reaction.
Yeah, this is what I said at the beginning. I don't like the ending. I don't like this. I am not keen on the fact that everyone is going along with Alexis's cult here and just deciding to continue it.
Yeah, like throwing people in a hot box to punish them, watching someone die from a disease that they can't cure, not just watching one person. We saw one person die in this episode. How many have they lost overall? It doesn't make any sense that they would just decide to stay here.
And with too small a population, way too small a population to maintain any sort of colony.
Yeah.
And the kids very clearly do not want to stay here. Just dooming their children because they got manipulated by the cult leader.
Yeah. In the town where I grew up, there is a historical district called Old Economy, and it's basically an like late 19th century cult, and their philosophy was we don't have sex, so we're never going to reproduce. And now that place is literally just abandoned, and it's a historical monument to people who
Yeah.
decided to make a really bad decision.
How are you
That's
supposed
essentially
to
what's going to
maintain a
happen to
cult
this
if you
village.
can't? You need to indoctrinate young people. You need children to indoctrinate. You can't just do it by yourself. I guess the cult leader there didn't care because after he died, I mean, who cares what happens to the cult? He got his.
Yeah, there's a group called the Shakers, I think in Pennsylvania, which had the same philosophy. No
They-
kids.
Yeah. Pennsylvania is where I grew up.
Okay.
So next week on Saturday TNG, we get one episode that's fine, one episode that's amazing, and one episode that's kind of bad but not awful. We get A Matter of Honor. Oh wait, no, we already saw. Wait, what's A Matter of Honor even? Hang on. Oh no, we get 2 great episodes and one that's kind of bad. We get A Matter of Honor where Riker goes to serve on that Klingon ship. That one's really good. We get The Measure of a Man, which is obviously amazing. And we get The Dolphin, which is a Wesley episode where he gets a girlfriend for all of like 30 minutes, but it's not great, but it's fine, I guess. But Measure of a Man and Matter of Honor, those are both fantastic. And DS9 Season 2 next week. DS9 Season 2 is going to be Shadow Play with the hologram people, playing God with... playing God's not great. It's the one where Dax is a mentor to a young Trill who's trying to get joined. Yeah, that one's... it's okay. Profit and Loss? Which one's Profit and Loss? Oh, yeah, we get another Garrick episode. Garrick episode next week should be good. I don't remember everything that happens, but it has Garrick in it, therefore it's good.
It's a Quark episode, actually.
But Garrick is there trying to, like, assassinate people. I mean, in The Dolphin, yes, Worf does try to, smack an old woman in the face. But to be fair, she's not an old woman, and he knows that. She's not an old woman. She's just... she's this weird furry Sasquatch alien thing. That's a shapeshifter. Maybe she's a founder. We don't know. They never bring it up again. But in any case, that's enough for today. Thank you all for coming. More next week. Might be doing another stream tomorrow, but that won't be Star Trek. That'll just be more playing some Oblivion, because Monday's my day off. And I've wanted to continue that Oblivion playthrough. Put on some jazz. And the stream's over. Everyone go away.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. Have a good one.
Have a good weekend, audience.